Today, we bring you a heartbreaking story that's raising serious human rights concerns, not only here in the States, but also, sadly, it's happening in the Caribbean as well. A queer American citizen, identified as Ellen Frances Hulett, was found dead on June 23, 2025, inside the Haina Detention Center in the Dominican Republic. Ellen, who identified as queer and had intersex traits, was arrested over 2 months ago by Dominican police in the town of Sabana de la Mar, reportedly in a disoriented state and without documentation.
She was found dead. No one noticed for hours.
We demand an investigation.
According to Dominican authorities, Ellen was showing signs of mental distress and was placed under immigration custody. Officials claim she was given medical and psychological care during her detention, but allegedly others in the detention center say the opposite. Based on videos shared on social media, we can see the unsanitary and bad conditions that she and others in the detention center are found. Is this similar or worse than here in America? What do you think? Her identity was not confirmed until late June using facial recognition technology. When her body was discovered, authorities reported no signs of violence. An autopsy is underway, but LGBTQ activists are demanding a full, independent investigation. They claim that Ellen's gender identity and foreign status may have played a role in the lack of urgency and poor treatment she received. Human rights attorney Carlos Sanchez says this case highlights systemic failures in the Dominican immigration system, especially when dealing with vulnerable populations like queer migrants or people with disabilities. There are also questions about whether U.S. authorities were properly notified. This is not just a story about immigration, it's about how institutions treat the marginalized. What happened to Ellen Frances Hulett must not be forgotten, and those responsible must be held accountable. Ellen Frances Hulett's death is more than a tragic headline. It's a painful reminder of how vulnerable lives can slip through the cracks when systems lack humanity.
Ellen Frances Hulett. Autopsy pending.
Weeks later, no answers.
Her identity as a queer neurodivergent American citizen should have never made her invisible. Instead, it became part of the silence that surrounded her. This case forces us to reflect not just on the conditions inside a detention center in the Dominican Republic, but on how marginalized people are treated across borders, when they're lost, when they need help, and even after they're gone. Let Ellen's story spark awareness, demand accountability, and remind us that dignity must never depend on papers, identity, or where someone comes from. If you believe her story deserves justice, speak up, because silence is complicity. If you believe in justice and human dignity, help us spread the word. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay informed.